It's a new week in the Crew Motorfest, and this week's theme is called Mercedes Motorfest Selection, and this is my summit guide. Let's go. All right, let's start out with the cars that you're going to need this week. The Summit Bundle was not published in terms of its bucks price. It only gave the CC price, so I have no idea how much this is going to cost, but you're going to get the Mercedes-AMG SL63 4MATIC and the Mercedes-AMG GT63 4MATIC. That's the only cars you're going to need for this summit. You're going to use one of these two cars for every single event, and then there's two events that are loaned. The keys to this summit are definitely the shortcuts. The lines that you're going to take through these races definitely have a lot of like corner cuts and curb hops and little tricks and things like that. So I'm going to show you everything I know. All right, let's take a look at the rewards. So for bronze, you get 50 prestige tickets. For silver, you get 100,000 bucks. Gold, you get a Mercedes AMG C63 S Coupe. And then for the platinum reward, the Silver Star tires has a little bit of blue there. You can't really see it too much in the little preview window here, but it looks like sort of a thicker tire with some rain channels there on the tread. It just looks like kind of a normal tire with some, you know, tiny bits of color. All right, here are the pro settings for the vehicles that I just mentioned, and then we'll get into the events. All right, the first event is called the Rising Star, and this is with the GT63 loaned version. There's a few cuts that you're going to want to take on this race, and it starts right here on this first corner. It's a lap race, so we're just going to go through every single spot in the first lap, and then we'll move on to the next race. So this corner here, you're going to cut to the right. You want to go in between this little like bus stop thing and this tree. You're going to cut to the right of the flag and try to keep yourself under control. I wouldn't use any NOS until you get yourself about halfway up into the blue. Maybe when you get to 8th or 9th gear, you can use a little bit. Now on this corner, there's a left-hander coming up that's kind of sharp. There's a hidden gutter in there. It's right on the fence line. So if you just line your car up with the fence and like break all these fences and take this gutter, you'll have a nice little turn there. I can exit that at about 145 miles an hour. After this bridge here, so go left, go up over the bridge, downshift into 6th, and cut this grass here. Stay on the inside of the checkpoint and make sure you cut that corner just like that. On this straight section, you don't want to force your NOS. When you get to 8th and 9th, that's when you can use bigger, you know, spurts of NOS to try to keep the car, you know, at or near its top speed, somewhere in the 220s if possible. All right, here we're just cruising and heavy downshift and braking going into this corner, and you can cut the corner. Just make sure you don't hit this shrimp shack thing here, this little trailer. You don't want to hit that, but you do want to cut the corner. And if you end up tapping that wall, it's okay. On this one, you're going to cut through the gas station. Stay to the left of the checkpoint. There you go. And your race is basically done. You just have to do that twice. So let's move on. All right, the next race is called A Star is Reborn. Now, this is with the SL63, and this is the loaned version. That means there's no pro settings, no parts, nothing like that. This race is basically staying ahead. It's one of my test courses for not hyper racing, actually. And there's no cuts. There's literally no cuts on this race. You want to stay on it every single step of the way. You stay on the track. You might hit some gutters here and there, but you're going to stay on the track. So the key to this race is NOS management. You need to make sure that you're using little spurts of NOS basically the entire time. Now, I had trouble controlling the car. I'll be honest with you. I did not like this car for this track. It seems like it's gripped up and then it's not gripped up, and it also all of a sudden just slides on you if you turn too much. So just be careful of that. But outside of that, there's not really a lot I can tell you. You just really need to keep little spurts of NOS here and there, and you'll go faster than if you were using big, you know, bursts of NOS. So anyways, that is it. Let's move on. All right, the next race is called Written in the Stars, and this is with your custom GT63. This first turn here, you're going to go through the brick wall, stay in 4th or 5th, and continue on after the checkpoint. There's a lot of like little things like that in this race. On this turn here, you can actually extend onto the curb on the right just to stop you from hitting the wall, but try not to hit the curb in the inside. On this turn, you definitely want to cut it a little bit. It's a little bit of a faster line through there. Now, when you get past this right-hander, you're going to use some NOS, and you're going to go basically off to the grass on this right side. There's a wall here, so you have to be really careful of it. I'll pause it here so you can see it. This wall here, you got to be careful of it. And there's a tree here. Your goal is to go in between those And while you're in between those, you're going to try to make the car drift. If you're on direct mode, it's easy as just, you know, turning really sharply, the car will drift. If you're not on direct mode, make sure you hit the handbrake and the NOS button at the same time as turning. So turn, NOS, and handbrake at the same time, and the car will, you know, drift to the side like this. And you can also tap that wall with the back end of the car. It's okay. On this corner here, you're going to cut to the left after the tree. Make sure you get credit for the checkpoint. You got to go a little bit close to that one. When you get here, shift to 9th, blast that NOS, go really fast going down the hill, and go ahead and go for the wall ride. And then into 4th you go, and start using NOS to get out of here. Now there's another, I'll pause it just to address this because I know somebody's going to mention it. There's another cut you can take that goes across the top of that hill. Let me back up a little bit so you can see where to go. So at this checkpoint here, you actually cut left and go across this grass and then reset at the next checkpoint. The problem is it actually is quite a bit slower. Like I was doing that in my test courses and that was like 2 seconds slower on average. So about a second slower per lap to go and reset that. And it's because when you reset, you're at a dead stop. And when you go through this corner full speed like this, you're basically hitting the corner at the exact same time, but you're going to be with momentum, right? When you leave the corner with momentum. So that's probably why it was a little bit slower. Anyways, that is it for that particular section. Down here, you do another wall ride. In 9th, make sure you're going fast, hit it, and go into 4th, and get out of the corner. And that's basically the lap. Let's move on. All right, the next event is called Under a Lucky Star. This is with your GT63 again. For this one, there's a bunch of different little cuts. So let's talk about it. Right here on this corner, you're going to go to the right of these trees. Slow down as much as possible into 5th gear. Take this corner on the inside and accelerate out. Then very next corner, you're going to cut across the grass on the left side of the checkpoint. And then use NOS to accelerate out. Cut across this corner here as well. And stay tight to the inside of these corners. In 8th on this section and blast it. Then heavy braking all the way down to 4th gear on this turn. As close to the tree as possible. Make the right here. Get into 7th and 8th and use NOS with every gear. You should have a nitrochemist set of parts here as well. Double downshift into a drift. Wall tap there. But make sure you're wall tapping the back of your car, not the side or the front. And then into 5th for this corner. And you can use some of these AI as well if you need to turn. They're helpful. Now you don't have to take that cut, but I did because the AI was in the way. That's it. Let's move on. All right, the next event is called When the Stars Align. This is with your custom SL63. And this one's kind of annoying, to be honest with you. There's not a lot of cuts, but I will show you a couple of things. In this top section here, it's all about gutter turns. You can see on the mini map here, you got just, you know, switchback after switchback after switchback. So try to hit your gutters going down this hill. Let me fast forward to the bottom here. When you get to the bottom, here's the bottom of the hill. You're actually going to hug this inside corner and then cut across the grass to the left. Now all through here is just gutter turn, gutter turn, gutter turn. Not a whole lot to talk about here. And I think, let me see if there's anything else here that I'm thinking of. Well, there is one more cut here. You want to take this turn in the gutter, stay tight to the road, and then cut across the grass here. And give yourself some momentum to start this little straight section here. And that's actually it. There's nothing more to this race. All right, let's move on. All right, the last event is called Aim for the Star, and this is with the SL63 again. This one, there's only like a couple of tricks. So let me show you what those are. Right here at this first corner at about 8%, you're going to cut left after the tree, right after it. And then you're going to cut left again and reset at the flag. If you don't know how to reset your car, it's you have to turn rewind off in your difficulty settings. And then when you press the rewind button, it'll reset you instead. So that resets you there. And then you're going to take off. Let's see. I think there's not any cuts here until we get across the bridge. Yes. Okay, so going across the bridge here at 26, go ahead and keep your speed. Use some NOS. Go straight across into the dirt. Extend this turn. And then work your way back to the road. All right, here at 60%, you're going to cut across the dirt. to the left of the flag and head towards the road again. Try to keep as much momentum as possible. And the way you do that is by, you know, having the most amount of speed going into it. If you can hit this gutter, hit this gutter. It's a 7th gear gutter there. And this one you don't have to, but I do just to make sure I don't go into the dirt. That's kind of it. You know, just make sure you're hitting your gutter turns and make sure you're using your NOS correctly. That's it. All right, let's move on to the feats. All right, the first one is a slalom. You don't have to do this fast at all. You just need this part set. You need to have your set bonus of score breaker, and you need to have skilled as your affix. You don't even really need pure. You just need skilled and score breaker, and you're good to go. As soon as you have this set bonus and these parts, it doesn't matter how fast you go, you are going to get a decent score. So I went pretty slow, ended up with 14,000 points, and it gave me 157, 847. It's like basically a max score. All right, let's move on to the next. All right, this week's speed trap seems to be broken. I don't know if they're going to actually do anything to fix it, but basically you just have to complete it. You'll probably already have found that out, but you basically just have to complete it and you'll get a full score. Watch the score I get for 145. 157, 850. That's a max score. You can't get any higher score than that. So anyway, yeah, just do it. All right, the last event is the long jump, and this one is basically the same as the speed trap. You kind of just have to do it and you'll get a good score. But if you want to maximize what you're doing, you can back up, right, and drive this road, use a bunch of NOS, and then right before, let me show you something. Right before you get to the jump, press the menu button and back out real quick. Just like that. It's quick. Let me show you again. Menu, back out. And by doing that, you will reset your NOS. Check out my NOS before. Here's my NOS before. And there's my NOS after, dude. A complete full tank just by opening my menu and backing out. Anyways, if you want to do that, you can. The other way to get a really far distance is to have frenetic as one of your affixes, and pure. Pure and frenetic are the ones you want to run on a nitrochemist set here for the jump. Now you can also run score breaker. That'll help you with your points, but you don't really need that because even with just a nitrochemist set, you're going to get full points. So, all right, that is it. Here are my final scores. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions about this summit, don't hesitate to send me a DM on Instagram or Discord. I read every single message that comes my way. It takes me a little bit to get back to everybody, but definitely send me a message if you have questions and I will help you with your summit. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. I'll catch you on the next one. Trigger out.